What's up, y'all? It's JC. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. And please hit that like button, drop a comment so we can help grow the channel. So, of course, NBA free agency is underway. Day one went by, day two went by. Teams have made moves. Some of the biggest, I would say winners so far. You got the Denver Nuggets, you throw Houston Rockets in there. And then it's a couple other teams, but I want to talk about the Knicks, man. I want to talk about the New York Knicks. Of course, this past season, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Prior to that, of course, last off season, you make the trade to get Carl Anthony Towns. You send Julius Randle to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This year, you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but you fall short to the Indiana Pacers. And, one of the biggest, I guess, the glaring need for the New York Knicks was the bench, right? We saw Tibbs. Tibbs is, he's known for, that short rotation, like playing, six guys, six, seven guys when it comes to the playoffs. And you kind of saw in that Pacers series that he expanded. He expanded the rotation. We saw Landry, Shamet get some PT. You saw more guys get playing. DeLon Wright, you saw him get some playing time as the series went on because guys were gassed. Guys were gassed, and you know, they just didn't have the juice to finish those games. So the depth was a issue. The depth was an issue, especially scoring. Like, no disrespect to those guys, the campaign, DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet. Even though Landry, he did have a couple of nice games for the Knicks in that Pacers series, if I'm not mistaken. But they really didn't have much juice off the bench. So this offseason, you still have your core guys. You got, the Villanova guys. You got, of course, Jalen Brunson still on the team. Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart. Excuse me, you still got Cat, you still got Mitchell Robinson. But like I say, you needed more juice off the bench. And I like these moves that they made so far in free agency. So Jordan Clarkson, he's expected to sign with the New York Knicks. It is not official, but I believe it was a buyout with the Utah Jazz. And he's going to the Knicks on pretty much like a vet minimum. So that's a great get. I think that's a great get. Even though Jordan Clarkson, he was a little, he not little, but he was banged up last season. I remember because I had him on my, I picked him up on my fantasy basketball team for a little bit, and he's like, he'll play one game, but then he'll sit out the next two. He's like he only played about what 30, 38, 37 games this past season. So health would be a concern when it comes to the signing of a Jordan Clarkson. But on the plus side, that you're getting a guy who can put the ball in the basket. He's not afraid to take those shots. Six man of the year not too long ago. And he can fill it up off the bench. And the other player they go out and get, Guerschon Yuba, Guerschon Yabusele, Guerschon Yabusele. If you remember him, he started off his career in Boston, played a couple of years there. Then he was out the league, went overseas, fine-tuned his game. And then during the Olympics, we saw him. I believe he's French. Was he on the French national team? If I'm not mistaken, but he was hooping, man. He was hooping. We saw that dunk he had. And then Philly signed him. And he played this past season with Philly. He's a guy, he's a forward, big, strong, stocky guy, about 6'6", 6'7", versatile defender. He can guard though, he's athletic. He can guard some threes, he can guard some fours. Small ball, he can go guard the fives, but he's also a scoring threat as well. He had about 11 points last year, maybe 5 boards. So I like these moves to shore up that bench. Now when it comes to New York, the other question mark, you got these players, but who's going to be the coach? Who's going to be coaches? I see they're looking into Mike Brown. That's a name that has been thrown out there, but they still haven't kind of locked in on a guy. Maybe we'll hear some news soon. Hey, maybe even while I'm, editing this video, I'll try to get this video out as soon as possible. But maybe we hear some news today. You never know. But uh, the Knicks, man, it's a matter of, can they get over the hump, man? They've got the talent. The East is looking to be a little bit more wide open. With the Celtics, with the guys suffering those Achilles injuries, Celtics with Jason Tatum, Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. Um, so those are two teams off the bat that, you know, you can expect the Knicks to be better than regular season wise, record wise, and overall team wise. So those are my thoughts, man. The Knicks, in the playoffs, it was questions of Jalen Brunson's defense, Karl Anthony Towns' defense. So I think whatever coach they bring in is going to be defensive minded, and they're gonna pretty much lock in on that side of the ball. I mean, you still got these great defenders like OG Anunoby. You got a Mikal Bridges, you got a Josh Hart. Those guys are going to play hard, night in and night out. Give all the effort, right? It's just a matter of, can they get over that hump? But man, I like these two moves, Jordan Clarkson, Guerschon. So we'll see what happens, man. Those are my thoughts in the comments. Let me know yours.